Today we are taking a quick peek at the Royal Kludge S85. I'm personally a big fan of Royal Kludge. Their keyboards, especially nowadays, I feel like are pretty hard to beat for the price point. This particular one comes in right at about $100, but you can find them on sale and with a coupon on Amazon for less than that. It is an 85%, meaning it's got pretty much everything but the 10 key. It also has a multi-purpose knob and a little OLED or LED screen that is customizable that I'll show you here in just a moment. It is triple mode wireless, so let me switch my camera angle here and we'll dive right into it. Stay tuned. There you go. There's a little better look at just the layout. Color-wise, it's kind of an off-white or almost kind of in between a white and a cream. So if you have a bright white desk pad and you're looking for a white keyboard, this may not be the best choice of color to choose, but I actually quite like it. The difference in like the subtle hues of the blues on the cream, I think looks really good. It is a triple mode wireless. So you've got the switch between wired, Bluetooth, and 2.4 gig. And then you've got USB-C connections here for the wired, and the little dongle for the 2.4 gigahertz stores neatly in the back of the keyboard. It is held in with a magnet, so it stays where it's supposed to stay. It also features an LED screen, which I'll show you better here in just a moment, and kind of a multi-use knob here. This knob is used to cycle through various functions that are controlled by the LED screen, which, again, I'll show you here in just a moment. It does have all of the colors and RGB and stuff like that is all settable. Is settable a word? I don't know. We're going to go with it. Is all settable through using this knob and the screen, which I quite like. You don't have to use their software. They do have software available for it. If you want to get a little deeper into customization, or you want to change, like put a GIF on the LED screen, you do need the software to upload that, obviously. But everything as far as settings go and the RGB on the actual keyboard can all be adjusted and changed through a menu system, which I quite like. It's all kind of intact. You don't have to use the software, which is always a plus in my opinion. It also has RGB underglow, which there's a bar right here that obviously you can't really see right now, but I'll show you in just a moment once we get into that. As for what else is on the bottom of the keyboard, it does have the 2-stage adjustable feet and then little rubber pads here, and then a little mini plaque with the usual information on it. It is also hot swappable. You can see the hot swappable socket there. They're compatible with 3 or 5 pin. The switches this board uses are one of Royal Kludge's own particular switches. They are, I don't think you can see it, but they're marked RK. They're a proprietary switch. They're called cloud switches is what they've named them. They are a linear switch. It's got kind of a frosted clear top with a kind of periwinkle blue bottom and then a light baby blue stem. These are a 45 gram operating force and then 3.4 millimeters of total travel, and they're rated at 50 million clicks. They're pretty nice. I like them. It's a good solid linear. Here's a little bit better look at the socket. As you can see, there is a sheet of foam between the PCB and the composite mounting plate, whatever it's called. And there's also a very thin foam layer in the actual socket right here where you can see the leads kind of punch through. And then there's a cutout for the south-facing RGB, obviously. This definitely helps the keyboard sound good. Royal Kludge has really stepped their game up as far as quality and sound on their keyboards go. And in my opinion, they're probably one of the top budget board makers as far as sound and just overall quality of their stuff goes. They offer a lot of stuff for right around $100 that you normally find on much more expensive keyboards. So props to Royal Kludge there. Okay, so regarding the little LED screen it's got, it is customizable. Obviously, you can see here I've uploaded a GIF I pulled off the website of two cats having a lightsaber battle. Pretty epic. It also has this multi-function dial that you can change settings for. I have it on volume, obviously. That's what I use the most day to day. But when you click it, you also get this menu that pops up where you can switch between Windows and Mac, the effect of the RGB, and cycle through all the different. Let me get the keyboard in there so you can kind of see it changing. But so you can change all the RGB effects natively on the keyboard, which in my opinion is pretty cool. You don't have to fuck with their software or anything like that. You can. It's all user adjustable on the software too. But I find it quite handy to be able to change the effects here. And then you can cycle through colors of each effects. This effect obviously apparently doesn't have other colors. Brightness of the actual RGB. Speed that if it's a changing, if you're on a setting where it's like a wave or something like that, you can change the speed of how fast it moves or changes colors. The language, I'm not going to mess with that because I'll never find my way back. Return, home. This you can change between a setting like this that shows the keyboard battery, what setting you're on as far as Windows goes, Bluetooth, wired, etc., the time and date, or you can change to whatever GIF you decide to upload. I'm not going to get into the actual software, which is decent. I will say their software is not bad at all. It's about what you would expect. Uploading GIFs is very slightly confusing at first, but it's pretty easy to figure out. I did so without having to read instructions or anything like that and just kind of putzing around with it. So if I can do it, I believe in you. As far as the RGB goes, it has everything you would come to expect from RGB keyboards these days. All the settings are things you've probably seen on other keyboards. There's nothing too crazy here. They are all customizable, and in the software, you can change per key lighting if you really want to get into it. But the stock configurations that it offers are all pretty good. It's got everything you've come to expect from RGB. It also has RGB underglow that's pretty bright, as you can see there against my hand in the darker parts. And it does a good job of lighting up your desk around the keyboard. The underglow is pretty bright. It is independently adjustable from the keyboard lighting. My only real complaint here is that you can't, from what I've been able to figure out, I messed with it for a little while and did not succeed, but you cannot turn off the underglow. You can turn off this RGB, but not the keyboard underglow. I know, buddy, it makes me upset too. So that's going to bother some people more than others. That's going to come down to personal preference. It doesn't really bother me because you can just set it to whatever, to white if you want, or, you know, anything that matches your current vibe. Not a big deal as far as that goes. Let me turn the lights back on and we'll wrap this up. So there you have it. That's kind of a quick look at the Royal Kludge S85. If you're in the market for an off-white or white-ish 80% keyboard, hot swappable, all the RGB you could want, dope-ass little screen. It's a solid keyboard. It's real solid. I've been impressed with it, honestly. It's got your usual shortcuts on the front legends for brightness, email, calculator, volume, all that good stuff, as most keyboards do nowadays, Windows lock, all that kind of good stuff. So if you're in the market for an 80%, right around the $100 price point, whether it's for yourself or Christmas, since I know that's coming up very, very quickly, definitely a solid contender. And even more so, I think, once you hear the sound test, which we'll get into now. I'll leave you on that one. I appreciate you guys checking it out, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if there's another budget or semi-budget keyboard you want to see me check out, and I'll see what I can make happen. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one. For the nerds out there, if anyone's curious, this is the mic we're going to be doing the sound test with, a Godox. I believe it's an EM85 or something like that. I don't know. I've had it for a while, but it's pretty good for keyboard sound tests. I feel like it's pretty accurate as far as the sound goes. So if you're a nerd like me, there you go.